Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And salutations to the sincere Akim and Aquas that may listen. May the blessing of election be over your house. My name is Brother Requai. I'm back in here with another video. And today's lesson is charity. And it's just going to be a quick video. I'm not going to make this too long. You know, this is something I was thinking about recently. As a matter of fact, I actually was inspired to do this, you know, from listening to one of the elders in the camp. And you know, they had shared a comment that was so profound. I don't remember who it was, but you know, if you do listen, you know, shalom to you, brother. He had said you know, being on the highways and the byways, right? You know, when you're out on the streets teaching, you know, it's a great form of charity. It's a good example of charity that we do. You know, when we do those, you know, when we go out there and we teach and you share the knowledge and the information, right? Because it, you know, it's information that can also help, you know, help our people, right? It's godly, it's heavenly counsel, you know, to make us more refined and make us more noble, right? Because you know 2/3 of our people are running around, you know, and you know they're being complete degenerates, right? And it's a crazy sentiment, you know, because you know when you think about charity in the world, it has this this idea that, you know, charity has to be like something where you go to like a soup kitchen or something like that, like the conventional sense. It's like something you do when you go and volunteer, and you know, you volunteer and you spend a couple hours at like a I guess like a retirement home, or you know, you spend it with you know, some youth, some troubled youth, or whatever it is. It has a very or you give out food to the homeless and all that kind of stuff. It has a very, you know, different connotation in the world. But you know, charity, you know, from what the brother was saying, you know, it's also not, it's not just about, you know, giving money all the time, right? It's also about, you know, giving spiritual money, right? Giving counsel, you know, to our people, right? Because you know, majority of our people, you know, they're in a desolate state. You know, they're in a state where, you know, you know, they're continuously still feeling the effects of, you know, whatever it is that they went through, you know, different, you know, whether it's slavery, or you know, they're growing up in single parent households. You know, they're either addicted to, you know, substance abuse and all that kind of stuff, like they're on drugs. You know, they're in a, you know, they're looking for answers, but you know, they can't find, you know, the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Shai, right? And they're looking for something, you know, to comfort them and give them an ease, right? And that is something that we also do when, you know, when we're out teaching, you know, because you know, this counsel that the Heavenly Father is giving us, you know, it strikes something in us to, you know, want to be more acceptable, right? And be more pleasing to the Lord, as opposed to being a degenerate, right? Because majority of our people are well, the head is sick, right? So let me just get that first precept before I ramble on, because I just want to share a quick story, you know, and hopefully, you know, this would be edifying. Let's go over to, I'm going to start with Isaiah. Actually, I didn't put that first on the list. So this is Isaiah 1 and 5, and it reads, "Why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint." Verse 6, from the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. So there's no stability at all, right? And if you go to the 33rd chapter of Isaiah, it speaks about the knowledge and wisdom being a stability, right, of our times and the strength of our salvation. But wounds and bruises and and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment, right? So if you were to just imagine the condition that our people are in, a lot of these sores that they're feeling is it's mental, because our people haven't gotten over the effects of being in captivity, being in slavery, different kinds of oppression that the different tribes would have gone through, right? Just a quick story. I was preparing this lesson actually, and I was on the job, preparing the lesson and all that stuff, and I left, and then I decided I was gonna get something to eat before coming home. And then as I was at the restaurant, a homeless Jake, Israelite man, came up to me and he asked me for some spare change, and I just thought it was really, really interesting that this is happening right now, right? He asked me, so I took him into the store, and I gave him I bought him some fries and some mashed potatoes, and I left him there, and he's like, and it's just so funny that that the cashier asked him, and he said, are you gonna order anything, right? He was kind of like being a little aggressive with the man, and and I had to tell him, it's like, hey, he's with me. He's like, and then the homeless guy said, yeah, that's my brother, And when I left the restaurant, I thought to myself, I was like, wow, man, did that just happen? Like, it's crazy. I was in the spirit, I was thinking about, putting together this lesson, and look what happened, right? Being charitable. And also as an example of that last precept I just read, because our people are in a degenerate, sick, mentally sick mindset and state, so to speak, right? So anyways, even I gave him something to eat, so he has something to eat, to keep him warm throughout the night. But I'm only just sharing this this account, because I just thought it was very interesting how the turn of events occurred. I'm not saying this to be somebody who's bragging about what I did, right? But here's a precept, when you do encounter situations like this. Let's see. Okay, so this is First Peter's 4:8. And above all things, be fervent. And above all things, have fervent charity amongst yourselves, for charity covers a multitude of sins, right? So and that's one of the mindsets you want to keep in mind, right? Because we're in a state where, okay, we have been blessed with this this knowledge and understanding, and we want to be able to be charitable. I'm not saying you have to give out your money all the time, but there are going to be times where somebody, an Israelite, you might encounter that they might need some counsel, and we're in this state because we still have sins to pay for, right? But before I continue, let me just get what charity means in the etymology, because I did not get that earlier. Okay, so this is charity. So this is benevolence for the poor, also Christian love in its highest manifestation, charity, mercy, compassion, alms, charitable, foundation, costliness, esteem, affection, dear, valued, to like or desire, right? So it's also having, a sense of like compassion, for our people, right? Because you want the best for your people, but we're just in this state because of the curses that is written about in Deuteronomy 28, starting at the 15th verse, right? But anyways, let's just continue the lesson in regards to charity. Okay, let's go to the Apocrypha. Okay, so this is Ecclesiasticus 6:23. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, and refuse not my counsel, right? So the counsel of the Heavenly Father is the one thing that we continuously keeps the lights on in our house, right? And gives us, continuous direction, right? Right. So, this is one of the things you want to continue to meditate on when you go about your experiences, when you encounter somebody like that, always, have some sort of like discernment, because sometimes there are people that will encounter you, when you have this knowledge, they're looking for some kind of answers, as well as, sometimes they're probably just looking for some spirit change, right? And, you just want to be able to use discernment to be able to understand the situation and execute properly what this person is in need of, right? Because our people are in a situation where they're looking for something, right? Whether it's some alms to get them throughout the day, or it's something spiritual to get more understanding and to be fed, right? Okay, so let's just jump to our last precept and just close it out. Right, I didn't want to make this too long, but Yahweh Ratazah, I know you brothers and few sisters find this edifying. Okay, so this is James 1:21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls, right? And I wanted to bring this out because it's the word is the thing that it is cleaning us up, right? And it's that one thing that makes us reflect on when we do experience these things with our people, either it's in on the streets or within our daily lives, right? This is jump down to verse 27. So this is James 1:27. Pure religion, undefiled before the Most High Yahweh and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction. So just like the homeless man I spoke about earlier, they're in a situation that they're afflicted, right? They're in a place where they're in need of something, and it's not always something that's tangible. They're not always looking for something tangible, right? Sometimes they're looking for something spiritual, like that engrafted word that I read about earlier, right? Because these are the people who are in need, right? And you want to be able to share that counsel with them. To visit the fatherless and the widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world, right? So that was just one thing that you want to be able to keep in mind, when you do encounter, situations like this, right? So anyways, I wanted to just share that, quick experience, not to boast, but it was just funny that, these turn of events occurred, and I wanted to just bring that out, in hopes that it would edify, you brothers and few sisters, right? As a matter of fact, I just got one more precept I want to share. I think it's Matthew 5. Okay, so this is Matthew 5:16. So let your light shine before men, so light representing the knowledge and understanding, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven, right? So it's all praises to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. We're able to have this knowledge to be able to do these works, right? Because we're just righteous, we're just vessels for righteousness, to execute the Lord's righteousness. That's all we are. But anyways, that concludes the end of this lesson. And hopefully, you found this video edifying, and you just like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching this truth. Until next time, I say Shalom.